Preparing for South Carolina State, a big task. Now with the standings kind of all over the place, this is a big game. It's a big weekend for us. It's a separation weekend for us. So we need to be prepared and be focused for both of these games this weekend.
I know, it can be hard to beat the same team twice in a season. How do you feel, coming into this second stretch of MEAC play where you're kind of playing all these teams again?
I think that's a myth. I tell my guys that all the time. I think that if you're better than a team, you can beat them 10 times in a row. So yeah, it doesn't get harder every time you do it. Yes, I would say that, but if you're better, I think you can do it. And I'm not just saying that we're just flat out better than South Carolina State. I'm not saying that by any means, but I'm just saying that if we come with the right focus, right game plan, I think we'll be in a good space.
Yeah, I know you guys beat them earlier in the season. What are some positives and negatives that you can take from that first matchup and apply, coming into this one?
Well, the positives that I thought we rebounded with them pretty well. I mean, they're one of the best rebounding teams in the country, and we were able to control them on the boards. I think we still lost the rebounding battle by 1 or 2, but I mean, they dominated people on the board. So for us to even be in the game, with them on that side of the ball was tremendous. And then we just came out and played the right way, offensively, defensively. So that was a positive. The negative, I would say, was that I don't think we finished the game, and I think that some of our problems this year has been finishing games. It's like I think we were maybe up 12. We only won by 7. Some games, other games, we've been up the last media, and then all of a sudden it's a close game. So we have to keep working on finishing games.
A little bit of a break, with this weekend. What are you happy with kind of the level of focus with your guys right now, getting back kind of into the swing of things?
Yeah, last couple of days has been pretty good with practice. I think that we needed this for injury purposes and then also just illness. We had a lot of guys. We probably have more guys sick than actually injured. And I guess the flu bug is going around. Is that season? So we kind of needed that for that.
Yeah. Speaking of those guys that are hurt, I mean, Philly, Darryl, Chris Fields. What are their statuses going forward? And do you think you'll have them for this weekend?
Well, Philly definitely. I mean, he'll be fine. Darryl, I don't know. We'll see when he comes. I know he's doing some treatment today and things like that. Chris Fields, yeah, he's on pace to play as well. So the questionable is Darryl, and we miss Darryl out there. What Darryl doesn't always show. Like he's not a 20-point a game scorer, but he did have 13 against South Carolina State the first time we played him, and he stretches the floor for us, which opens up driving lanes, post touches, things like that. So he's shooting 45% from 3. We need every bit of that, especially, I think the last game we might shot 4 for 20 for 3, and we have like games like that we'll shoot 4 for 20, but then we'll shoot 9 for 19, and, so it's like we need his consistent shooting.
Speaking of Darryl, I mean, he's a guy that's been here, I think his 5th year now. How reliable is he? You said he's not, 20-point scorer or anything like that, but how reliable has he been just as like a solid 6th, 7th guy off the bench?
He's been solid. I mean, he's more than, I can ask for. He's a guy that we know what we can get from Darrell Anderson. We know that he can make a shot, and we know he can make a shot consistently. Like if Darrell has his feet set, we can almost count it, to a certain extent. And everybody is not like that on the team. So I think that with him, he does provide a level of a perimeter consistency that we don't necessarily have right now.
With him, again, being here 5 years, it's not always common with transfer portal that you see guys being in one place for 5 years. How have you seen him grow from when he stepped on campus to where he is now?
Well, I would say him, Nazea Chambers, and Tyrese Jenkins are the last 5-year players you'll ever see in the face of college basketball that stay at one university. I think that the way the landscape is, you'll never get a kid to stay at one university for 5 years anymore. So with that being said, those guys have evolved, in their own way. Some guys we wish would have evolved a little bit more, but, such is life. But with Darryl, I think that he has provided a consistent level, throughout his 5 years and has continued to get better.
How special is that for you and just like your reaction to that as you saying, probably the last, couple guys here staying for full 5 years, how rare that is?
Well, I think I'll probably react differently, probably senior night when give them the flowers or whatever we give them, I don't know, lollipops or something, and just see them go across the, go around their merry way. But I do think that, those guys, they're especially the program, they've won a lot of championships here, regular season championships, MEAC championships, NCAA tournament game, thing like that. So they've had a pretty good career here at Norfolk State. Even though individually they might not always stand out, they've been a part of everything that we've done the last few years.
And I know that Rel is kind of heating up these last 4 games, especially in the scoring column. What is something that he's done differently, or has he done anything differently, and how do you keep that level of production going forward?
Who's that, Rel? You said Tyrell? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tyrell, you call him nicknames now?
when I called Philly Christian, you started acting weird. So like, let me call him the nickname. I
I don't call him Rel. I don't know who called him Rel.
I've heard everybody call him Rel.
All right. Well, Tyrell. Okay. He's been getting a lot of work in the gym, extra work in the gym. We've actually been working one-on-one together. Like I always say, like when you move from assistant coach to head coach, one of the biggest things people think that is like about the X's and O's, and you got all the. I say the thing that happens is that the players stop calling you as much. So he's one of the players that actually reached out and called me and asked for some help, and we've been doing a lot of one-on-one work, and his stats are getting better, and he's doing stuff on his own as well. So he's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. He's seeing the success, and I think he wants a little bit more of it, and he's like eager to get more because he's doing what he probably wish he could have did his whole career. With the double-figure games, with the 6-7 rebounds, things like that, and he's he wants more. He has a hunger for more. So we hope that he does get more. Is it? Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
It's been good. A couple people been fighting illnesses and injuries, but we trying to get back whole just in time for end of the season and go into the tournament so we can win this thing and go to March Madness.
Do you feel like you kind of had to find a balance of resting, but also keeping momentum going?
Yeah, for sure. At the beginning of the season, it was easier, but now since it's games back to back, Saturday, practice Sunday, and play again on Monday, it's harder. But we find a way. Always gotta find a way to.
I know that loss against UMES kind of stung a little bit because nobody really expected you guys to lose. But then you lose, then you have to go into a 12-game break before you can go back out. Did that make it sting a little bit more, or how did you guys feel?
It most definitely made it sting a little bit more. Them games that you're not supposed to lose, they always hurt. But that's the beauty of basketball. You gotta lose some to win some, as long as the outcome is income. But I feel like it just made us more hungry and realize that we really got to do what we got to do to win this thing. So I feel like it was a tough L, but we're going to learn from it for sure.
One of your fellow big guys in Rel has really turned it up the last couple games. Just, have you seen anything different from him on the court? And then how do you kind of keep him in that mindset? For sure.
I feel like at the beginning of the season, some games wouldn't be his game, but we always tell each other, like, it's us against the world, we're going to stick with it no matter what. And I always tell him, be patient down there in the post. And he's been getting some work in with Jones, and obviously it's paying off. Like, you can see he's patient in the post, doing everything we tell him because, you feel me, we really believe in him, and sky's the limit for him. So I always tell him that, and it seems like he took heed to it. So I'm proud of my boy for real.
Yeah, when you look at the box score for you, you necessarily don't, fill out the scoring column, but you find other ways to, rebounds, assists, stuff like that. Where do you feel like you've impacted the game the most so far this season?
Most definitely, at the beginning of the season, like defensively, I wasn't getting as many blocks. I've always been known as a shot blocker, but now that I've kind of found my role, like you said, like I'm not a scorer, but like if I gotta go get a bucket, I'll go get a bucket and whatnot. But rebounding, blocking, shots, all that, like I feel like I bring a different type of essence to the team since we already got Jamari, AB, Philly that can score the ball, even Jaylani. And then we got Rel right there beside me rebounding. I feel like and then we got Fields coming back. I don't know. I feel like we can dominate the paint down low, and I feel like if I do what I need to do in the paint, then I'll get my touches on offense some way, somehow. So just let the game come to me for real.
I know you guys are hitting that stretch of MEAC play where you're facing everybody again.
Yeah.
I know the old adage is it's really hard to beat the same team twice in one season. How do you kind of feel about that as you hit the second stretch?
Honestly, I feel good. We done had a couple good days of practice, even though, like I said, everybody's fighting illnesses and injuries. Yesterday we went with 10 people, but still made it through, you feel me? But I feel like everybody's ready to go. Coach always preaches next man up, so I feel like everybody's always ready to play. We've got some good games from Fields, got some good minutes from people like Gil, George, stuff like that. So, and the other teams haven't seen them play as much, so I feel like they'll be able to add more since they're going to dive deeper into the starters and stuff like that. And then, just what we trying to do, trying to go to March Madness. So I feel like we're going to go as hard as we can. We got some dogs and trying to make that happen.
You got SC State Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you guys have played them already. You beat them. They kind of hung around there at like the very end.
Yeah.
What is something that, looking back at that game, that you guys can do again to get another win over them? And then what's something that you feel like needs some improvement?
South Carolina State, most definitely, we got to play more mental than physical because they're a very physical team. I'm pretty sure they lead the MEAC in rebounding and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say they don't have the mental aspect, but we got a little bit more mental edge on them. So if we just go in there locked in and more disciplined, then we'll come back out as victors again.
Gotcha. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think it's been a long season so far. Going pretty hard for a long time, so I think guys are using this time to take care of their body, get little nicks and injuries taken care of, so we can come back on the second half of the season stronger.
I know you've missed the last couple games with an injury yourself. How are you feeling? Do you think you're going to be able to go this weekend?
Yeah, ankle's definitely getting better. Been working out, practicing now, and everything like that. Working with the trainer, so I definitely should be back by next week. Yes, sir.
For you, Daryl, I'm wondering, 5-year guy here. What's kept you here for all 5 years? It's not exactly common nowadays.
Yeah, definitely the culture, camaraderie between the guys. Like I said, the culture of winning. You don't see that too many places, so it's something that's sort of kind of hard to leave, especially when you're a college guy trying to chase some more rings.
What was your first impression when you stepped on campus here?
It was complete love. I remember my first time here, I just couldn't get the thought out of my head. I knew this is where I wanted to be and where I needed to be for sure.
How have you grown, I guess, from, that freshman year and now being a pretty solid 6th, 7th guy off the bench that's, reliable. Coach was just saying anytime you get your feet set, it's pretty bound to, the ball's going to go in the net.
It's great. I feel like I've got to watch myself grow over the years, learn new things. So it's cool to look back at it, especially being a 5th-year guy and saying 5 years ago I was a freshman and now I'm here today.
Does it feel like it went by fast?
Most definitely. Blink of an eye. Blink of an eye.
Coach talked about how you might not be a 20-point shooter or a 20-point scorer, but you're going to find ways to fill up the stat sheet, help your team out. How do you feel like, where's the biggest impact that you make on the court?
For me, I feel like it's just the motivation. I can tell when things sort of kind of drop in energy or we have a media and I know, the guys have to come back together. So I feel like just the motivation aspect and just keeping everybody accountable.
Coach was saying that, you and some of the other 5-year guys, he was like, those are the only 5-year guys are going to see stay at the one place in, college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
What's kind of your reaction to that and, just with the state of the transfer portal and college?
Yeah, so for me personally, I moved a lot when I was in high school, so I wanted to make sure when I got to a college that I, loved, I wanted to stay there for my whole time in college, so that was one of the big things for me as well.
You guys obviously have already played South Carolina State, already beat them. What are some things that you can take from that game, whether it be positive or negative, coming into the second matchup with them?
Yeah, they're a real, real gritty team, play very hard, crash the boards. So I feel like if we are able to handle this and take these on to the next games, we should have that great mentality of just playing physical, playing hard, rebounding, and I feel like that could carry over for the rest of our season.
How do you guys make sure after, obviously the Maryland Eastern Shore loss and you go in that 12-day break, how do you guys make sure you come out on Saturday with a high energy?
First and foremost, it starts in practice. Having high energy in practice, competing in practice. A lot of times, Coach likes to say that our practices are harder than the games, and he's definitely true. So just putting that energy and effort towards practice, and it'll play out in the game for sure.
If you don't mind sharing, what in high school you said you moved around a lot. Why was that?
Just sort of kind of looking for the best basketball opportunity. I moved in from New York to Virginia. My family didn't really know about, AAU and things like that, so I just sort of kind of found my best route basketball-wise, and I'm happy I'm here today.
How cool has it been to make this a full 5-year home, and what's been maybe your best memory from this?
Honestly, it has to be the people. I feel like this is my second home. I walk around, I'm hurt, so, everyone wants to see what's wrong or wants to, give me some advice or show me some love, so I definitely appreciate the people for sure.
Is it bittersweet here, in your final season?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. I know graduation's coming up soon and, the end of the season, second half of the season, but it's a bittersweet feeling, but for right now, I'm happy.